Hey, and welcome again to another episode of Soul Nourishment Live. I am your favorite homeless hippie, Joseph Serena, signing on in Chattanooga, Tennessee, to give you the first official video of this channel, or the first official topic of this channel, besides my hello again after 3 years of not posting anything. And that is going to be the healing processes behind my 40-day fast that I just accomplished December 20th. Started November 10th all the way to December 20th. It's currently New Year's. I thought it'd be a good day to post the video. It's 12 days after my fast, roughly. And so I can give you guys a good overview of what to expect, basically, and the benefits that I've seen from doing this fast. If you guys don't know about fasting, like you haven't even heard of intermittent fasting or anything of that sort, that's sort of a health phenomena that's kind of swept America somewhere around 2018. I think is where I really started seeing a lot of that stuff come into the forefront. It's not really anything that I thought that I'd get myself into, but being as hungry for the Holy Spirit and what the ancients had talked about as far as religious belief goes, I decided to dip my toes into that water because I want to find out what they're actually talking about. Like, there's a lot of things in ancient literature that you read about that it's like, these people either A, they were totally freaking nuts, or two, A or two. Okay, that's like not the same. Anyways, it's either A or two, where A, they're nuts, or two, they're onto something. And what they were onto might have been some sort of undocumented science of some kind. So I decided to give that type of thing a shot. The longest that I've gone before this 40-day fast was 10 days. And typically I don't go over 7 days. I'll do a 7-day fast roughly every 3 months. And the reasons that I have for that, for me personally, is one, it makes my prayers a lot more. I feel like there's a lot more body behind my prayers when I pray during those times. Meditation becomes a lot more potent. There are certain things during the fasting process, certain body functions that get lowered, and certain body functions that get heightened during a fast. And my best example of that is your adaptability to certain stresses gets lowered. So I'll give you two examples. One example is, like, let's say that you're trying to speed read. Let's say you're trying to study and you're trying to speed read through something. You're going to have a harder time doing that. Analyzing data at a faster pace or a normal pace is going to be harder. It's just not going to be as easy. You're going to be able to do it if you work a desk job. Doing fasting or intermittent fasting is a great idea, because if you're not exerting all 200 calories that you're supposed to be exerting for the day, but you're eating 200 calories, it would be good for you. Anyways, and two, the second thing that it does to you as far as adaptability is concerned is where if you go from a sitting position or a laying down position and you get up too fast, you're going to get extremely lightheaded, and I would not put it past certain people to pass out. I didn't pass out, but I'm sure. I mean, I was very, very close to it around day 20. So I think it was around day like 32. No, 36 or something like that. Right at the end of my fast, I ended up having to call out my work for 2 days. It was the only 2 days that I ended up having to say, "Hey, listen, I just can't do this." I almost collapsed at my job, and I really would not suggest anybody do a 40-day fast while working. I mean, if you're going to do something like this, you really should, let your boss know and call basically call out, because towards the end there, it was intense. But anyways, those are roughly the two things that you're going to notice go down the most. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to like lift heavy weights or anything like that, it's going to be a lot harder. Lifting heavy things, I can lift 50 pounds all day, but if somebody decided to have me start lifting like 100 pounds or something like that, like maybe two-man, a big couch, and I'm doing that throughout the day, but it's like 100 pounds on my muscles while I'm fasting, not going to be able to handle that very well. Some of the things that get lightened or heightened during a fasting, or while you're in the fasting state, would be things like your vision, your smell. I almost want to say your sense of hearing, but I didn't really notice any real major difference. I do have to admit the visual acuity went up slightly. Okay, so I wear glasses. I have astigmatism. My eyesight's actually terrible. But I noticed that my eyes had become slightly more crisp. I don't know if it was at a level that would have been significant in a laboratory setting. I would have to go through this again and let you guys know if I actually was able to score higher on a vision test. But I did notice that there was at least something there as far as visual acuity goes. As far as my sense of smell goes, that was one thing that was unusually heightened. For instance, I have a jar of peanut butter in my car. And that jar of peanut butter, when I opened it and smelt it, it's not that it smelled different. It's that I could smell deeper into it. To give you an idea of why that would be, my body was starving and it's trying to look for food. So it put a lot of its energy into my olfactory system, so my nose. And I was able to smell peanut butter more deeply, in the sense that when I opened it and smelt it, I didn't just smell the peanut butter. The peanut butter just smelled deeper, like it just smelled like more like peanut butter. But I could also tell, because this is the Food City brand from it's from Food City. It's like a Food Club or something. I think it's Food Club. It's the same brand that Walmart carries as far as peanut butter goes. I could smell the peanut butter, but I could almost smell the oven that the peanut butter, or that the peanuts were roasted in. There's no way I'd be able to give actual evidence for that. I mean, somebody would just have to, take me at my word and say, all right, well, you know what, I guess I believe him enough to, or he's reputable enough to be able to convince me that maybe he was able to possibly smell something deeper in there. There was also a time where I was most certainly able to smell a bowl of Cheerios. We're talking no sugar, just Cheerios, from across a room when I was staying at my mother's place about 2 years ago. My sister had poured herself a bowl of Cheerios, and I was able to smell that from across a room. I mean, and it was a big room. There was the TV room, and it was connected to the kitchen, and from the kitchen all the way from the back of the TV room where I was, she was pouring her bowl of oatmeal in the kitchen, and I was able to smell that bowl of oatmeal when I was fasting for 7 days. So being able to smell deeply into peanut butter is not out of the question. Another thing that becomes heightened is your acuity to spirit, is the best way I'm going to put that. And I'm trying not to sound hoity-toity when I'm talking about spirit, because I'm pretty much talking about somebody's baseline consciousness. you become more attuned to your own consciousness during the fasting state. I mean, you're not eating anything and you're really just existing. So when you decide to do something like meditation or breathing exercise or some kind of chanting a prayer while you're fasting, it's heightened in some kind of way. I would not be able to put a finger on it, but when the ancients were talking about spiritual practices and that kind of thing, yeah, there's definitely something to this. There was a time during that fast where I was praying and meditating while I was in my car, and I'd gotten to this point, and I'd seen something on Kundalini Yoga where yogis and certain Buddhist meditators, like especially uh, what's it? It's a certain type of Buddhist. Um, oh Lord, the name's escaping me right now. It's not like Shaolin. It's the Dalai Lama. God, it's right there. I know what I'm talking about. I don't have the name right now. It's gonna come to me right after this video. Tibetan Buddhists. Tibetan Buddhists also talk about this. Where I was sitting down, I was meditating, I was focusing on my spirit, I was focusing on the center of my chest, which is my heart. That's base, it's my soul, more or less. And I was orienting my spirit in a way. There's no word that I'd be able to articulate that would be able to describe the activity that I was doing. I was moving my spirit around. I was orienting my spirit. I was meditating. And while my eyes were closed for about maybe 30-second intervals, I almost had this psychedelic like grid pattern over my eyes, and it looked like the Kundalini Yoga lotus flower kind of thing. It was slightly different than some of the pictures I've seen, but interestingly enough, even though it was a psychedelic-esque, I opened my eyes while I was having that experience, which was kind of stupid because I probably could have had more of that experience, but I opened my eyes during that experience to be like, I was like, dude, am I tripping? And dude, I opened my eyes and there was nothing. I was like, that is so insane. I was like, dude, my body felt like there was something happening. My mind felt like there was something happening. I saw those, I saw the Kundalini Yoga lotus flower thing, and I don't even know if that's like, if you're supposed to see that. I don't even know if Kundalini Yoga meditative practitioners are even supposed to see that. I just know that I've heard somebody talk about Kundalini Yoga and reaching, was it something, I think it's moksha or something during meditation, and then they talk about the lotus flower and what it's supposed to mean. I don't know if you're supposed to see it. I freaking saw it. And yeah, open my eyes, nothing at all. Nothing at all. So I'm not like tripping or anything, but it was probably one of the most spiritually significant. It was among the most spiritually significant religious experiences of my life. And I got that after the 20-day mark while I was doing this fast. Now, on to the primary reason why I did this fast in the first place, because I'm running out of time here, is because I had these lines that were developing in my face. Went through some depression, was drinking a little bit more than I should, and I'm not going to get into the entire situation of smoking a lot of cigarettes, was super, super stressed out, and I was developing these wrinkles in my face that, I was told by everybody, you're never going to get rid of these things. Like, we've tried everything. There was plenty of people that I'd seen at bars that had those lines. Like, it's kind of like a drinker's thing. Like, when you overindulge in that, you typically get those lines. And there was like those pin lines. Like, my skin just looked gross. And it wasn't just the lines. It was like it was like splotchy. It was just, I looked bad. And I really should have taken a before and after photo, because during the fasting state, you go through what's called autophagy, right? It's basically atrophy, right? But a little bit of atrophy is a very, very, very good thing when done properly in moderation, right? So since my body wasn't getting the nutrients that it needed, it was using old cells in my body to make new collagen, to make new skin cells, to make new organ tissue, to make, or basically taking things that my body didn't need or couldn't use, and then using that to make better tissue. If anybody that you people know have problems with being an ex-drug addict, to having the ex-drug addict face lines, and you're between the ages of like, I don't know, maybe like 18 to roughly 35, if you people look at my skin right now, there were some really serious wrinkles right here and right here. It was really right around my nose. They're gone. They're not there anymore, man. I should have taken a before and after. I don't have any proof, but I am a living testimony to everybody who's seen me. I could get some people on a video who saw me before I healed myself with the 40-day fast, just so that they'd be able to give me some credit for what I did. And what I'm trying to say here is that if anybody has those kinds of lines, wrinkles, skin problems, so on and so forth, please try this stuff out, man. There's a guy, Alan Goldhammer, who runs True North Health, who does these kinds of like retreats, basically, where you pay the price of a hotel per day. They analyze and make sure that you're healthy during a fast, and then you fast for as long as you need to fast for, which is not only good for ex-drug addicts who are trying to not relapse, but if somebody's severely overweight, or if somebody has health problems like what I was experiencing with my skin, dude, I reversed the clock probably 5 years. I mean, I'm only 24 years old. I'm about to be 25 tomorrow, but like those wrinkles were disgusting. They were actually like, they made my stomach churn when I looked at them. They were not normal wrinkles by any means. And there was another instance. This is pertinent. So my middle finger here, it's the bigger of the two fingers. You can see where I have some scar tissue a little bit. It's almost like in a Z pattern. Doesn't really show up too well on the camera, I guess. But that thing reduced in size probably by 2, right? During the fast. Like, my body was utilizing scar tissue to make sure that the rest of my body stayed in health. And that same mechanism also works on cancer. So if you're precancerous, or you have family history of cancer, and you do these kinds of things, you like fasting and whatnot, it's really potent. Anyways, guys, I'm right here at 20 minutes. I'm going to have to cut this one off. Thank you guys for listening. God bless every single one of you. If you have any questions, I will answer any one of them that you got in the comment section below. as well as look in the description box, maybe later on today or tomorrow or something along those lines, to see if there's any videos on fasting that I posted down there. I'm not a scientist, but I do happen to know doctors and scientists that do study this kind of stuff, and I'd rather give them the credit than just some random culinary worker talking about what it did for me. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for taking your time to listen to me. I appreciate the fact that you people even sit down to hear what I have to say. God bless. Have a good one.